So the big question is, what's the deal with cross-cultural relationships? Today I explore some of the waters that need navigating if you're going into one of these relationships. My name is Joan and Nwosu, and welcome to the Second Chances podcast, a love journey in black and white. Cross-cultural relationships like the one Davide and I have are journeys that transcend race, culture, upbringing, mindsets. It's a beautiful and enriching experience, but it's not without its fair share of challenges. And not all the challenges are between two of us. Sometimes it's external parties and forces that are becoming a bottleneck in our relationship. So today I want to talk about something that happened today. So we're planning this trip in a couple of weeks, and we're going to a city where I have a lot of family and Davide knows no one. So we were butting heads a lot on what we're going to do, where we're going to stay, who are we going to hang out with. And for Davide, he's all about us. He's an us kind of guy where he only wants to plan things around both of us. He only wants to spend time around me. That's the priority. Yes, he can have a good time with other people, but his focus is always around what are we doing, just the two of us. Whereas for me, coming from a Nigerian background where family and community plays a big role in how I grew up, if I'm going to a city where I have family and friends, then that's going to be the focus. It will be around, okay, what do they want to do with us? What plans do they have for us? And whatever extra time we have, then that's going to be our time. We were butting heads on this one because he couldn't understand what I was talking about. So anyway, as we were going back and forth trying to figure out what we're going to do, I realized that, whoa, this is another cultural difference. And so I raised that and I said, our cultures are different. For you, this is a vacation to get away and for us to spend time together. But for me, this is more of a family visit, and that has to be the priority. So how can we come to a middle ground? So we talked about it and kind of agreed, okay, so we'll spend a couple of days with family and then we have a couple of days to do just both of us the things that we love to do. And it was great. And everything was resolved. So from that, I was thinking, wow, again, back to communication. I think communication is the most important thing in a relationship. You have to approach this dynamics because now you're dealing with someone who doesn't have the same culture as you do, the same nuances, the same upbringing, the same maybe even family values, not necessarily in a good or bad way, but just different, right? And so it's about understanding and respecting each other's culture, understanding where they're coming from, and then listening so that you don't feel like the person is attacking you or not being supportive. Rather, ask the right questions so that you can know where it's coming from. And if it's just something they're not used to, then this is a learning opportunity for them to learn more about how you or your culture or your background does things differently. And he might appreciate that or she might appreciate that. So it's very important that in these relationships, you are very patient. And like I said, you have to listen and be willing to learn. You have to approach it with a curiosity because we're all adults, we're all grown, we're all set in our ways in some form or the other. A lot of the things that we learned in the very early years of our lives, and that has shaped our mindsets, right? That's all we know. That's how we know to do things. So we think that that's the only way, and worse, that's the right way. So you got to be very, very careful. And I know we've had some arguments in the past on cultural differences, but we're committed. We decided to be in this cross-cultural relationship. So we're committed to trying to understand the other person's perspective, understand their own culture, and learn from it, and then decide which one is going to work best for this relationship, because every relationship is unique. But these kind of this kind of conversations, it really, really tests my patience and my ability to listen and to communicate properly so that neither person feels like they're losing any battle, and we want to come out with a win-win solution that works for both of us. So that's just one of the big issues that you might need to consider if you want to go into a cross-cultural relationship. There might be lots of arguments or disagreements just based off of your cultures is different and your backgrounds are different. Another thing I want to talk about today is societal perceptions. Oh my God. Like, yes, the world has changed. The world is evolving. Cross-cultural relationships are more accepted now than they used to. But you'll be surprised that I still get people trying to call me out. I still get people trying to say, oh, you're a sellout. Oh, I can't believe that you left the black man for a white man. Oh, you're not pro-black. Oh, you're not this. And I'm like, are you really serious? We're in 2023. What happened to we are all one? Right? Why does the color of someone's skin have to define who you should be with or not be with? And so I still get a lot of these attacks and messages. And some people will still say to me, oh, I can't imagine what it's like to be like I have nothing in common with white people. Well, that's your experience. And it might not even be true, because maybe you've never even experienced being in a relationship with someone different to you, to your color or your ethnicity or your background. So they judge me based on what they see at face value and just think there's no way this is working. So it's very challenging, right? And so for me, as long as we are united and we show up as a united front, that's all that really, really matters. We try as much as possible not to allow these external pressures or the opinions of other people to affect us. So we just keep pushing, but you will get some of those, even from your close friends, even from your family, especially from your family, actually. You will get people who will still not understand because they refuse to, just because they don't know. They don't know any better. So be ready for that one. So enough of the bad stuff. Let me talk about some of the great stuff, the beauty of these kind of relationships. It is just more interesting. Right. Every day I'm laughing. I'm laughing because there are things that Davide will do and I'll just be like, oh my God, I can't believe you did that. Right. We will watch something and interpret it in completely different ways. He will say things, he will show me things I've never seen before. So I'm constantly learning. He's constantly learning. So like I said, you have to approach these types of relationships with more curiosity than you would someone who has a similar experience, life experience to you. Is it the food? The food is so different. Like now I don't even eat pepper. I don't eat pepper anymore because Davide really can't tolerate pepper. So even my tasting food is changing, right? Or drinking wine with every single meal. I have had to adopt that lifestyle. But it's good. You know, I enjoy drinking a glass of wine with my meals now, and that's fine. So there's just so much richness that comes with this cultural differences. There's just so much newness, so much to learn. Even with the language, even the way we celebrate things, even the way, I don't even want to talk about our definition of love because it's completely different. But I'm learning and I'm enjoying the journey. So this blend of our cultures coming together is such a beautiful experience. It's challenging, it stretches you, but I think that it is such a valuable, enriching experience, and it pushes you to grow. And like I always say, relationships are primarily about growth. So I want to encourage anyone out there who's maybe still skeptical, or you don't want to be judged, or you're thinking about, oh, what will people say, or my family will not accept this. It's about you. This is a profound path that you might even discover things about yourself that you didn't know existed. You might find that it brings out a version of you that is more of the authentic you, not how you were raised, not the conditioning, not the paradigms that you grew up with. Maybe now you will be free to really not just be your real self, but to express yourself in a way that is not restricted by beliefs and culture and systemic issues and conditioning and mindsets and all of that stuff and religion. Maybe this is what you truly need to find yourself. Because I know for me, the me of today is completely different from who I was 5, 6, 7 years ago. And it's this new world, this being open to a different culture and embracing it and being a learner and being curious. The goal is, when you're trying to get into a relationship, look beyond what you're used to or what is familiar. Don't be afraid to try something unfamiliar. Focus on the core values. What are this person's core values? What are their values around love, around family, around life goals, around vision, right? That should be the focus. And these shared values will keep you grounded, will give you a solid foundation to build up on. And then you can enjoy all the other things that are different about you. You can learn a new language. You can learn how to do things differently. You can see different ways that they express themselves, that they do things, and you might just enjoy it. So I want to encourage you, do not be skeptical. Try it out. It might be the thing that you've been looking for. And if you're currently in a cross-cultural relationship or you're dating and you're wondering, oh my God, we're so different, approach it with curiosity rather than trying to look at what is superior or inferior. Because that's something that a lot of people struggle with. They're thinking, oh, my culture is superior to yours. It's not about that. It's about, let's explore all the different, let's put everything on the table. Let's try everything out. And then find what really works for you as a couple. Don't be too quick to run away because there's differences. Those differences are not meant to break you. They're meant to make you stronger. They're meant to make you approach this with a childlike mindset, where now you're open to learn, you're opening your heart to love, you're opening your heart to a new world that maybe you would have never experienced. So yes, Davide and I will always have challenges around a lot of things in life because, again, we're different. He's Italian, I'm Nigerian. But as we grow, we learn more. We appreciate each other's experiences and upbringing in our cultures. And if I dare say, that's what's making us stronger. Thank you for listening to today's episode on the Second Chances podcast, a love journey in black and white. Till next time, sending you love and light.